Hey, this is your girl, CT Connects. Hi, how are you? And this is,
Elliott, Big Top. What's going on, y'all? We back again for another session.
we are, y'all. We are back again for another session. So, we are here. We talking about Elliott today. Men got to figure it out. Now, the whole idea behind the title is, when a little girl falls, even from like a child, she falls, everybody's like, oh, poor baby, you're gonna be okay. Get on up, push it. Oh, it's okay, daddy, baby, mama's maybe, all of that. But then let a little boy fall. I have seen it. I worked in daycare for 12 years, Elliot. I've seen it. Little
Yeah,
2-year-old boy, not even two, fall. Get up, you ain't no bitch. Get up, boy. You ain't, I'm like, God dang, he's two. He hurt his knee like the little girl did. So it's like earlier on in life, y'all aren't even really given the opportunity to really process emotions. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. My uncles were there for me like that though, and to keep it real, it actually served a good purpose. What I'm saying, to put some toughness in me because the father situation wasn't going too great. When I was growing up, so they kind of like did what they could to help me out.
Really. And see, that's what I'm so glad I'm talking to you because for me, I'm a woman. I'm a nurturer. Most women are nurturers. We are the ones that keep everybody feeling warm and welcomed and fed. You know how it is. Like I know down south, you go to the crib, the now we're talking about traditionalistic stuff, right? So for everybody's gonna be tuning in, I remember like growing up, first of all, my great grandmother was born in 1914. She was like half Sioux Catawba, and her dad and her mom was like Native American, and her father was African American. And she had a lot of traditionalistic, cultural things that she really held on to. And so it's like, I'll get into that later, but just going back to what you were saying, I'm glad that we're talking because, I just see that part, the nurturer aspect. I'm like, because to me, I'm like, the only reason I say that is because as you become men, then I feel like that lack of knowing how to really, like, if it's not balanced, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do believe in just making sure that everybody's like not over exaggerating their emotions and stuff, especially when it comes to men, because y'all have it a lot harder when it comes to certain things. And I'm a woman. I'll say that, Elliot. I'll give you your props. You know what I'm saying? I will.
Uh, yeah. Uh, it's not easy for y'all either, but we do have as men certain things that we have to overcome. That is a little bit tougher. You know what I mean? So several things. You got to learn how to survive by yourself. You got to learn how to hold yourself accountable for situations. To stand up when it's time to be a man, protect your family, all that type of stuff. I mean, it's serious, and you got to have that to be a real man. Though, if you don't, you're gonna be like lacking a lot of self worth. Though, when it comes to especially protecting your family, making sure your family is well.
Absolutely. And then the other part of that too is just making sure that there's a balance though between being, Tarzan, all the time and still having that balance. Like I give my dad his props, like my father was a big lover, very, very affectionate, hugs and kisses, all the time. But when it came time to get my little brown behind spanked,
Yeah,
I knew what my boundaries were. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. See, yeah, my grandma had to do that work. You know what I mean? And especially when we got me and my brother at a young age. So they did a good job though. But a man always has that extra. You know what I'm saying? Like extra incentive of being a man or what you actually need in those situations. You might need it a little bit more, but they might be tired that day. Mom and grandma might be tired
True.
that day, and your uncles might not be nowhere around. So I got a little older. My stepdad came in. He did a cool job. He did what he could, but for the most part, me and my brother had already, kind of were coming into, learning how to survive and teach ourselves things, which we still had to. So we continued like that, and we turned out good though. To keep it real, Even though, like I said, it's kind of tough sometimes, but you still you still have to apply yourself and learn. And it's hard for your younger men to do that these days, and it's getting kind of harder every day. So I
Yeah.
totally understand some of these young youth are lost like that because this is not easy.
Yeah.
Especially when nobody's gonna really help you.
And that's the thing that kind of gets to me. It's kind of like, okay, and maybe because, I'm just thinking about even relationships, even from a female's perspective. Okay, you were blessed to have somebody there to fill in the gap, but there's so many guys who did not, one way or another, they were abandoned, by that man in their lives. And then on top of that, they didn't have anybody else as a male figure to really step in the gap that was a good male figure, someone that shows them how to, go get it, how to really, really work hard for what you get, just morals, just simple, basic, foundational morals. And you know, what were you gonna say, El?
Oh, the moral thing is really serious too, though. You end up missing a lot of those. You got to learn from other people's families sometimes. That's one thing too. A lot of my other friends, they have fathers, and they set the example also. You know what I mean? So that was also a cool thing. They realized, that might be some holes there. So you can go over there, you see, how they operate. And for most part, the friends I had, they all had great fathers. So that was also
Mm.
helping him.
Yeah, and then that's encouraging for anybody that might be tuning in. If you don't have a father around, and you don't have a positive role model, just because somebody give you money to eat, it doesn't mean that they're a good role model. It doesn't mean that the Lord placed them in your life. It definitely doesn't mean that they're supposed to be there, especially if their path and their way is leading to death. If it's opening you up to all kinds of trouble, you don't know how all of a sudden you're finding yourself into stuff, addicted to stuff, you know, all kinds of personality traits and character traits that you didn't used to have. We encourage you to find, and I'm not saying it has to be the bishop or the pastor, but find a positive role model, a male role model. There's so many groups going on. If unfortunately, everyone isn't blessed to have their father like Elliott, you were sharing with your own story, and even though I had my dad, there was a time when I didn't, I was 14 years old. I remember my mom and dad split. And then that took me through a whole lot of things. And so just talking about the traditional sense, I remember the man being like the king of the home. Like I remember, and I'm not saying that all of the households that I was exposed to kind of ran it like that, but overall, like the gist of it was like, the man in the home was the lead, the woman was submissive, not submissive like you get to like tie me down and beat me up kind of stuff. But it was like, nowadays they use the word submit and people get scared of it. It's a biblical term and all this, but it really just means to, allow somebody else to take the lead. If you have a job, you submit to your boss. Why you can't submit to the man in your life? Why you can't submit to your husband? That's all I'm trying to say, and it's not even, yeah, you let them run and rip you and making you feel like you ain't worth anything either. Like there's a balance. You know what I'm saying, El?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Uh, what you just said, like Uh, back in the day, when women were like more submissive like that, but as times changed though, and so everything started to change. So it's like kind of almost a thing of the past, but at the same time, it's very important to keep the family stable.
It is. And you
Yeah,
saying that things change, but I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of times things have changed because now we no longer have the traditional male figure to look up to. It's like for example, if our fathers leave and then we don't have any other real male role models around, then we're watching the females in our lives, talk down to the man, or we're watching the females in our lives who might make more money than the man start talking down to the man. We start seeing the dynamics of how the man in the home loses respect. And so it's like a trickle down effect, or the man becomes absent, or It's like everybody has to do their part. You can't just have, the father there who isn't really contributing to the home in any kind of way, but then you expect your wife to follow your lead. I can't follow you if I feel like you blind. You know what I'm saying? You can't come to me as a woman and say, "Hey, I want to be your dude," and you don't have no job, you don't have no real income. Like, I mean, we can build together, don't get me wrong, but you got to look like you going somewhere for me to follow you. You can't leave me the blind. It's like I don't understand. So some of these relationships that people are finding themselves in is like, I don't know what they're looking for. But for me, the way that I look for things is, and nobody's perfect, and you can look for something in somebody in the beginning and be so wrong all the way around, because people will show you what the hell they want you to see. But if you're looking for certain things up front, if you have standards about what you're going to accept, because first of all, as a woman, I think about certain things. If I lay down with you and I get pregnant, are you going to be the type of person that I feel like will be there for me and my child? If you already act like I'm getting on your nerves and I haven't even did much to you yet, then I already know what kind of person you would be if we, you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about who you sleeping with before you get pregnant. You got to think about all of this stuff, and it's a process. It's a process. And it's like I'm seeing how these men are being dethroned. Every black man that I'm seeing is being dethroned. Either they're being portrayed as gay, in a skirt, which de-emasculates them. So now I can't follow you because I'm wearing a skirt. What the hell am I going to listen to you for? You wearing what the hell I got on? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go get some muscles like you. I really can. Go take me some protein, get me some testosterone. I know my exercises for science. Thank God at UNC Chapel Hill, and I can get buff niggas like the next one. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can't
Yeah, that's true.
follow no dude that's looking like me. You can't be prettier than me either. You can't be in the mirror. You can't be all of it. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like
yeah,
that.
yeah. You make some great points, especially when when you were talking about, like, as a woman, you got to be able to follow a man, and you know what I'm saying. As a man, you know what I'm saying. We know what we have to be doing, but sometimes communication is so bad that both sides get tired at a certain point because the communication is not really there like it's supposed to be.
You said the word communication, which goes back to my initial thing. In the beginning, men are not taught to communicate their emotions. You're taught that you're supposed to be strong. You're taught, even if you have to cry, you don't cry. You're taught, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes, a lot of times, people will respond to the sensitive side of a man. It's like your woman might actually start seeing a whole different part of you as a man if you are able, like Elliot, you were just saying, to communicate. And I'm gonna be real with you. I've had to teach men in various different men in varying relationships in my life, right? I've had to teach them how to communicate. Like, it's okay to express your feelings. It's okay to say you don't agree with something. It doesn't mean that there has to be an argument. It doesn't mean that I have to attack your character. In fact, it's healthy because you're one person and I'm another person. We have two different brains. We're going to think differently sometimes. We're going to have a difference of opinion sometimes. However, as a friend or as a loved one or whatever your role is, communication, okay, I don't like the way that was dealt with. I really don't like it. Okay, well, I'm glad you said that. You know what I'm saying? But as a woman, I even had to remember when they would say, I don't like that. I can't get mad. I can't say, open up and tell me what's on your mind. And then, Elliot, you tell me what's on your mind. And then I get mad. Well, see, that's why I ain't listening to you anyway, because you should have paid the light bill yesterday. That ain't how you teach nobody, because now they're going to, now
Ah,
the man going to shut down and you got to
it
start back at
happens a
square
lot.
one.
Yeah, it happens a lot because you both go through things and you don't know what the other person's going through. And exactly what you said, that's what happens. And that's how the ball starts rolling when it starts to go downhill. Man, for
It
real.
does. It does. It really, really does.
Exactly
And
right.
but if it happens, you just acknowledge it, and that's part of the development. It's like a muscle. Anytime you're trying to change an aspect of your character, or you're trying to grow or develop in an area, and you say, I'm going to try to think different, or I'm going to try to respond different. What happened with me in particular is, if I found myself failing at something that I said I was going to try, I would acknowledge it, because acknowledging it made it kind of memorable so I wouldn't forget it so quick the next time. And it's a process. It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, if you don't practice using it, then it becomes flaccid. It becomes flimsy. It's not, you can't do anything. It's weak. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Very, very true, man. Um, that happens a lot. Like, yeah, I think like today, attention spans are shorter. It just came to my attention, like, just like it's like people looking at phones and stuff like that, and they say attention spans are shorter. So, that has to do with relationship stuff too. The way you intake things, or your temper, people's tempers are also shorter and everything like that, though. So, and that's all lost in translation from the lack of communication. You know what I mean? So that's what happens with that too. You got to think about all that. It all goes together. So, society, but it can be fixed, but it's gonna be like, it's a lot, because we got so far from it, and we're getting further and further, like almost getting lost. So, that has a lot to do with what's going on in the community, and everybody running around out here lost. Like, it's
Yeah.
no joke.
Yeah. It is. But you know what? If one person can help two, if and the thing that kind of gets to me is, I'm in my 40s, and I think about all of the teenagers that are out there, the 20-year-olds that are out there. One thing about communication that people got to understand is, when a 2-year-old can't communicate, they bite. That's what they call the terrible twos. Oh, they're two, they have teeth, and now they're biting, they're one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My little brother used to, man. My little brother used to be on us. Man, yeah, I know about that.
Exactly. So as a 1-year-old, Elliot, your brother couldn't say, Elliot, give me my ball back. He gonna bite your hand because you holding his ball.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, and he was autistic, so it was really like, extra. So he sure would talk a little bit of attention. Play a video game, like you don't hear him, feel something on your shoulder, like, oh, what's up? Bit the hell out of
Like,
you. Man. Like, come on now, that's your little brother, so you can't really do too much. You know what I mean? He's sitting there laughing, but that's what it is. But you're right.
see, you're a better big brother than me, because I was a big sister. My bro, man, let me tell you, I apologize to this day to my little brother for the stuff that I did to him. Okay.
I mean, I ain't saying he was off the hook, but you know what I'm saying. Can't go too far, but them bites hurt it. It wasn't no joke. Teeth,
But that's
teeth
the
that came in
thing.
too.
Elliot, my brother wasn't even off the hook. I was just jealous because I was the only child for like the first 4.5 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was like my daddy, my mama, and then I was in the middle. Like
Yeah,
every night. It was me. I
yeah.
don't even know how they got pregnant, Elliot. I used to sleep with them. I'm like, what the heck?
They found
I'm
a way.
thinking about that now.
They found a way. They found a way to
Listen,
rave about that bed and go to the bathroom or to the living
listen.
room or something when you was asleep.
I'm about to call Reverend Taylor and
Oh,
ask him a question or
yeah.
two. I'm about to call
Oh, you
Reverend
gonna have them
Taylor.
sweating.
I'm about to call Reverend Taylor and Evangelist Juanita Taylor and ask them about that. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, I was thinking about something this year.
You gonna have them. Oh Lord, man.
Golly, man. But in hindsight, y'all, we just wanted to drop in real quick. We didn't want to stay on for too long, but this is going to be something that we're going to continue to do. We're jumping back on again. We'll be here tomorrow again. Elliot, we're going to try to shoot and get back up here tomorrow and finish this conversation because there's so much to talk about. We want y'all to jump in with us as well. If y'all have anything to say about your dad and traditional, and anything that you want to say about what we said in our opinions.
Right, right. Would love to hear from you. You know what I mean? This is what we're here for. Everybody put they, 2, 3, 4, 5 cents in, whatever you want to do. This is what it's all about. You know what I mean? We want y'all to come and enjoy yourselves, laugh with us, have a good time.
Facts. Big facts. And Elliot, I put in the title about some list, or I didn't put in the title, but we're gonna talk about some seafood boils. Cause
Oh,
EB, cause
word. Yeah,
EB
word.
cooking. So let me tell you, I just came back from Louisiana. My grandmother passed away, and thank y'all so much for all of the prayers. Talking about Father's Day and stuff. My father is having a very, very difficult time, and I still thank God have my mom. So I don't even know what that feels like. And for all of you who know what he's going through, my prayers are with y'all because it hurt me tremendously to see my father, with those emotions. Because once again, he's a man. So I've never really seen my father cry, Elliott. So to see him break down, not just once, kind of took me all over the place. Like I had to get my mind right. Like, I had to figure that out and not kind of freak out, especially being so far away from him.
Right, right. Yeah, prayers to your family again too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
always are.
Thank you. So I was down there, Elliot, and let me tell you, this is where the seafood boil was invented, down in Louisiana, child. Let me tell you, this from my earliest memories of childhood. I remember us going to the backyard. They would have the Zydeco playing or some blues or whatever they had playing. They would be grilling out. They would get these cardboard boxes and rip them, right? So I mean, the pot was so big. The pot was probably as big as I am, Elliot. I'm not even lying. It's like a boiler pot, right? And it's outside, or they have it. Usually, it was inside too on the stove, but they would put crab legs in, corn on the cob, like the half corn on the cob, like whole, like small potatoes, shrimp. They would put sausages in it, and they would put seasoning, boil seasoning, seafood boil
Yeah,
seasoning.
yeah,
And then down in Louisiana, of course, you have your mild, you have your spicy, you have your muy caliente, and then you have your hell.
yeah. Woo. They ain't playing about the heat. Gotta watch that when you down south, man. Burnt your mouth off. Yeah, it's not playing.
Dude, I have ulcers right now. Okay, I just I am so mad that I can't eat it like that no more.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what I wanted to talk to them about, Elliot. So when we talk about the seafood boil, I wanted to give them some good tips for those people who do like spicy. And like myself, you find yourself unable to really enjoy the hot and spicy thrills of life when it comes to food. We're going to talk about seafood boils. We're going to have some time when we just talking about seafood altogether. There's certain things that Elliot always enjoys when I share from a scientific perspective of things that are healthy for us to eat, along with that. And this is, June is Men's Health Month, Elliot.
Say that again.
June is Men's Health Month. So us talking about all of these goodies and things that can be helpful for them, hand in hand with what you're going to do for us.
Oh yeah, yeah. Most definitely. It's not in the health thing. It's not hard to eat healthy. It's just watching, certain situations that you put in your food. So that's about it. You be feeling nice.
And habits, changing habits. Like my father has diabetes, and I call down to Louisiana every day, and typically I'm listening to him order food sometimes, and he's ordering, stuff that's fried, or I ask him today, what do you eat today? Well, I haven't eaten, so I'm having to give him ideas. I'm like, well, Daddy, get you some shrimp, stick it in the oven. Because you don't need to eat fried, stick it in the oven, put some lemon juice on it, put some garlic on it and a little salt. You got high blood pressure, just a pinch of salt, but some garlic and lemon juice will fix that right on up. You know, there's just a means of changing your habits sometime. Like I mentioned to him, if you don't like frozen, microwave meals, I don't either. In fact, I don't even use the microwave like that because of the radiation that can cause cancer and things like that. They can say that it passes all of these levels, but let me explain something to y'all about these levels and how they pass these tests. So they'll say that 55 means that this is the most toxicity that you can have without getting cancer full blown. Well, they'll pass a microwave at 53. Okay, like that's just an example of how they do things. So I try to stay away from a lot of microwave use. I mean, especially right now, we have 5G, we have all of these radioactive waves, electromagnetic waves. Just be careful with it's just a lot of things that can induce and excite rapid reproduction of cellular growth, which is what cysts and cancers are. And so, just learning your habits, changing your habits up a little bit. So that's what Elliot and I are here for. So we're going to talk about Men's Health Month. We're going to talk about some seafood boils and some tips. So maybe, Elliot, I don't know if you wanted to talk about that tomorrow, but you let us know if not, because we're going to be here tomorrow regardless. But y'all, we just want to make sure that we kind of keep you posted along the way. What you think, Elliot?
We can definitely talk about it. You know what I mean? I enjoy cooking it though, so I'd like to talk about it too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's all in one.
All right. Are you going to dish up a little something tomorrow? Is that what you're saying?
I wish I could, but I'm not all scheduled for that. But I will in the future though.
Well, y'all, guess what? When he starts cooking up again, that thing is going to be good because I was watching the Jetsons the other day and I found a way, Elliot, that I can bing myself in 5 seconds from here to you. So that way, when you cook, I can just boing over to Stockholm and, Stockton, and get what I want. No? Yeah.
Say that again.
I was making a funny. I was saying how I was watching the Jetsons and I found a way that I can ping myself over to Stockton where you are and get food whenever you cook it.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. I was kind of like,
Elliot,
yo, that's just something.
you saw what I was doing before I got out here? Stop playing.
No, hey, that's the future is here though. Ain't no telling, might be a scientist out there somewhere that already got it for you. Got to check. Man,
Man, for
would be
real.
nice.
Wouldn't it? It's coming. It's coming. But
Man.
listen, y'all, we just wanted to drop in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Listen, I am doing Backstreet Music Festival. That is August 13th. Make sure to keep up with your girl CT Connects. We also have the movie 17 Days coming out. We're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about mental health, y'all. We're talking about communication, which I believe has a lot to do with domestic violence because, like I was saying, a child can't say certain things, so they use physical. Well, we're adults. We shouldn't be acting like children anymore. We're going to talk about that. Make sure to stay tuned. We are still out here supporting 42 Skincare with my girl, Jasmine Galloway. She has a big interview coming up on, I think it's with Vogue, Elliot. I got to look back and see who that interview is with. Did you see that?
I think it is Vogue magazine. So yeah, we are definitely looking forward to seeing that. And like you said, the 17 days. Look out for that. It's coming soon. I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. And we are looking forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow.
Yes, we are. Ski Bunny's calling me. So from Kids 102. So let me catch this call, y'all. I'm forever working. But listen, we love you guys and tune in with us on tomorrow. I see you tomorrow, Elliot.
All right, now.
All
Y'all have
right,
a good one.
guys.
Y'all have a
Bye.
good one. All right.